Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. We are your hosts, Lewis, the encyclopedia of pro wrestling.
And I'm Jay, the whiz kid of pro wrestling.
Yeah! Excellent intro. That's excellent. By the way, I see you got a haircut.
Yeah.
Looking pretty impressive there, Chaperangs. Kofi?
All right.
Yep, okay. So Jay,
yeah,
we got an excellent night tonight, man.
Absolutely.
We got some things going on. WWE is debuting Thunderdome today.
I seen the trailer
on SmackDown. Yes, I did too. It was
cool.
It was very, very interesting.
It was
to
really
say.
cool.
And Brian's here. The always controversial
Of
Brian
course.
Montalvo. How you doing, sir?
Absolutely.
Hey, Mr. Justin Wayne. Welcome, brother. Jaden.
Yes.
What's on Sunday?
SummerSlam. Wait, hold on, Dad. I can't hear you. You're supposed to say SummerSlam. Loud and proud. SummerSlam.
Guys, SummerSlam is the hottest event in the summer.
That's one of my favorite pay-per-views.
And then especially now with everything going on with the pandemic, with this Thunderdome happening, I'm anxious to see what's going on and how it's going to happen.
I agree.
Now, which brings us to our topic today. The greatest matches in SummerSlam history, as well as we're going to probably discuss some moments in SummerSlam that happened. You guys can share your greatest matches with us leading into this Sunday's SummerSlam.
Yes.
With our predictions here at Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Jaden, where do we begin? Actually, let me ask you this first question. Yes, Christopher Brown, one of our loyal people, says SummerSlam is the second biggest pay-per-view in the company. Yes, it is.
That's true.
It is. So, Jaden, when you hear SummerSlam, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Anything goes. SummerSlam, I feel like, it's the summertime, so they're going to make things more interesting, now that it's actually hot outside, could go outside and have a match such as a street fight, you can have a false count anywhere. SummerSlam is all about being interesting. That's why the key word, summer.
So let's change that a little bit. Pretty much what I was referring to is, what moment do you think about when you hear SummerSlam? Mr. Sergeant, welcome.
Like a WrestleMania, not a WrestleMania, a moment between two wrestlers.
Yep. Or a moment in general.
I'm pretty sure.
Anything that's happened.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure my favorite moment was when Undertaker chokeslammed Edge through the ring, and then the ring set on fire.
Oh, you talking about Hell in a Cell?
That's Hell in a Cell,
which is on this list. Now that you mention it,
okay.
One of those greatest matches is Edge against Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell.
All right, there we go.
That was one of the greatest matches in SummerSlam history.
That was my favorite match in SummerSlam history.
These two men, Edge, WWE Hall of Famer. Undertaker, definitely
he's
future Hall of Famer.
Material.
He's definitely Hall of Fame material.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And when you got guys like that going up against each other in a Hell in a Cell, what the hell goes through your mind? What do you think we're going to see? Like, what are we going to see when a man like the Undertaker is inside that type of structure?
Those are two icons right there. You put two icons fighting against each other. Undertaker is known to be good and to be deadly in Hell in a Cell matches. Edge, he had his fair shares of TLC matches and things like that. So I expected a fair fight from both, but at the end of the day, the Undertaker took the W, but overall, it was a great match.
Well, it was definitely a great match. Undertaker was reinstated because of certain things that were happening.
The way that storyline was made was absolutely great.
It was absolutely great. You know what I mean? And we had some other great matches in SummerSlam. That one that comes to mind for me when it comes to SummerSlam actually is Mr. Perfect and Bret the Hitman Hart. One of the greatest matches of all time at SummerSlam. And we got a few comments, actually. Christopher Brown, welcome, brother. Says, Lewis, SummerSlam can be summed up in 3 words and 4 numbers. Laughing out loud. Yes, sir. HBK and Triple H 2002. Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've seen that match.
Oh, that match, it was unsanctioned. It was pretty much anything goes.
I have seen that match. That was a bloody match.
Of course it was a bloody match.
I've seen that
but
match.
The match was, and that's when Shawn Michaels returned to the business.
Yeah, exactly. I seen that match. That was a really bloody and crazy match. It was a great match, though.
Yeah, I remember that, James. He did break his finger in that match. And it's crazy. He still went through it to win the match.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be a survivor to break your finger in a match and still able to go on to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
That's some. I give props to Bret Hart for that one.
No, he was really good, man.
That's really
he was
good.
really good.
That's good right there.
You know, but mentioning Bret Hart, when he had that match with Mr. Perfect, it was pretty much, I say to me anyway, personally, it was kind of a passing of the torch from Mr. Perfect to Bret Hart. Because Bret Hart was never, he really wasn't a singles guy like that. He was more into tag teams with the Hart Foundation, you know, with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, God rest his soul. But then he became this awesome singles competitor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, wow. Like, what next?
Right.
And then finally, after winning the Intercontinental title, he went on to beat Ric Flair and winning the WWE title. So, honestly, when you hear about those two men, Jada, what do you think about?
Man, that's wow.
Sum it up, simple, direct.
Oof. That's really hard to decide because those are two men.
I got two words.
Iconic men's.
I got 2 words for this. Instant classic. This match was an instant classic. This match was perfect.
That is perfect.
It was an instant classic.
That is a classic.
Two technical wrestlers.
Oh yeah,
that knew what they were doing.
Fight style.
And of course, they had a signified style.
Fight style.
They were amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see them go back into the ring. You know, sadly we can't see that because of this new age, and you know, you can only see one of those type of matches in a video game nowadays.
Oh, of course.
But you know, there's always a network, so I can just watch it on that. So you know, I might check that out after the show, or you know, whenever I get the chance to. But you know, overall, I feel like that'll be a pretty good match because you know, technical wrestling was different back in the day. So I feel like it would have been great, and it probably sold out millions of tickets just for that match alone. So
of course,
I feel like it was overall a great match.
Now, when you mention a type of match like that, like they mentioned, Christopher Brown mentioned Triple H and HBK.
Yep.
That match was amazing. You know, with pretty much when Shawn Michaels came back, he looked like he didn't even miss a beat. He went through it. He took pretty much Triple H to the limit, beat him. He won. Shawn Michaels was destroyed.
He was blood.
You know what I mean?
Blood. It was insane. Like that match was like one of the bloodiest WWE matches I have ever seen in my entire life. That was one of the most crazy matches I've ever seen. Besides, you know, the point when you know, like when Mick Foley and Randy Orton and Mick Foley and Edge, that match was crazy. The Triple H and Shawn Michaels, I would have never thought I would ever see a more bloody match than that, and a more amazing match. They use anything, and you know,
they use the sledgehammer, they use the ladders, they use tables.
Of course, Triple H had to go with his old sledgehammer. I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels used it at a point too.
See, no, but this is a good point. What Christopher Brown just mentioned, that they did an excellent build-up with Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
They did.
Like the way Shawn Michaels got attacked, the way Triple H made it seem like it was somebody else, and then boom, we saw who it was. The match happened. It was phenomenal, and it was crazy.
That is crazy.
And then back to your comment before about wrestling today. James Sargent says back when wrestlers cared to wrestle and not be a showman. You know what I mean? That's when wrestling was wrestling back then. You understand? It's like. You can't back then with wrestling, with SummerSlam from the 80s, I say from 1988 when it first started to I would say 1999 is when SummerSlam went dead. Somewhere along the line, it was getting pretty good here and there in the 2000s. But I'm an old school guy. Yeah. I like it from the 80s only until maybe 1992, maybe. And that's pushing.
I like a few SummerSlam.
And speaking of that, which comes to mind to me when we talk about old school matches, Davey Boy Smith and Bret the Hitman Hart in London, England. This was the first ever main event at any pay-per-view that was not a WWE title match.
Wow.
It was for the Intercontinental title.
That's really
and what made it even more interesting is that was his brother-in-law.
Wow.
They were family. So, what is your take on that?
Wow.
And what is your take on that, guys? And before you give me your intake, guys, please feel free to share our content all over your feed. Bring the fans in. Tell them our topic. Like, share, comment, everything. Please feel free to join us. And we got our first couple of comments. Daniel Crimmins, welcome, sir. Welcome to the show. What about SummerSlam 04, Chris Benoit versus Randy Orton? Yes, absolutely. For the World Heavyweight title, that was an excellent match.
Is it that when Randy Orton got crowned the youngest World
Heavyweight Champion of all time?
I remember that match.
Yes, that was a hell of a match. It was a good match. A lot of people don't like to mention Chris Benoit's name, and I understand and I respect it. But despite the fact that what he did, he was an excellent athlete.
Yeah, you got to worry about the things he did in the ring, not his outside.
But we do not condone what he did. So Brian says 2015 SummerSlam with Brock versus Taker was damn good. That was a feud that was built up for years. Absolutely. I was waiting for Brian to say something like that. Because yes, he's right. Back then, when The Undertaker was the American badass, Brock Lesnar was the heel. And it was a hell of a rivalry they had back then. Like, they went through Hell in a Cell. They went through all these brawls and shit. And it's like, wow, what's next?
Right.
Like, what's next with this thing here? Mm-hmm. So, James Sargent, yes, we have that match on our list. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, brother versus brother, in a steel cage match for the WWE title.
Oh man,
Jaden, you've never seen that match, but you gotta see it.
Oh man.
Guys, tell us about that match. WWE title, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart in a steel cage. What were your thoughts in that match?
Interesting.
While we're waiting for that, I'm going to read one of his comments from Mr. Jason Diacomo. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining the show. He said, that's when WWF learned to play the crowd when they knew that match would be received as the main event. Exactly. Because the crowd loved it, especially with a hometown crowd favorite like Davey Boy Smith. It was well received by these guys. So yes, it was a hell of a match. I loved it. But guys, Owen Hart and Bret Hart. Jaden, you've seen Bret Hart wrestle.
I have a few
times. You've seen Owen Hart wrestle.
Yes.
The King of Hearts.
Yeah.
The flying superstar.
Yep.
What was your thoughts of that match?
Dang, that's another brother versus brother match right there. If you want me to be honest, and I know probably a few people are either going to agree or disagree, but the family feuds, the people that always have feuds with their family in the WWE be the best ones. Mm-hmm. I'm just being honest. So imagine putting a brother against a brother. They already know how each other think. They already know each other so well to the point you're not going to know what to expect because they already know, oh, Bret Hart's probably going to try to do this on him, and Owen Hart's going to expect it. So when it comes to family matters or family business, family rivalries, anything, you never know what to expect out of it since, family lives with each other. So you have to change. Of course, you're going to have to change up your fighting style or your appearance in order to win. But overall, a pretty good match.
A lot of people thought that Owen Hart should have been champion because he beat his brother at WrestleMania. He beat his brother at WrestleMania. Daniel Crimmins says Undertaker versus Undertaker was a great build-up too. Yes, it was an okay match. I like that build-up. James Sargent said it was Owen Hart's breaking through. Owen had unlimited potential. He was an athlete. He was a great athlete. They screwed him over. he should have been champion. Like Jason says, he should have been champion. You know what I mean? They did him dirty. You know, and Christopher Brown says, Jaden, just wait for when we get Roman versus Dwayne. Laughing out loud. That match, I actually want to see that match.
I want to see that happen. I feel like that match has great potential to be one of the greatest matches of all time. If you want me to be absolutely honest.
It's definitely a match I want to see. Definitely a match I want to see. So, Jaden.
Yes.
Given the matches we just named,
yep,
we have a list here. Out of all these matches to you, which one stands out more than the others?
I gotta say CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy 2009, a TLC match. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not just because who won that match? Was it CM Punk?
It was CM Punk. He ended his career. If I'm not
mistaken, Undertaker appeared in Jeff Hardy's place when Jeff Hardy was on the ground.
Yes,
that's why I feel like that match was so unique, because the switch up to that match was absolutely great. You know, you start off having a good match. You know, Jeff Hardy was one member of Team Extreme. I'm not sure at that time, but you know, he was Mr. Extreme, so anything was extreme for him. And you know, CM Punk, you know, had the guts to actually beat a guy like that, and then for Undertaker to take Jeff Hardy's place and then choke slam CM Punk.
Well, beside the point, beside the point of Undertaker taking his place, what about the match?
That's what I said.
The match was great. Lethal. Yeah. The match was great.
That's what I'm saying.
It was extraordinary. Absolutely. The way that match was. You know what crazy. I mean? It was a good match. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the thing with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is such an amazing superstar.
I feel like they dropped the ball with him, though.
No, not necessarily, because he had his problems.
He had his problems. You know,
and yes, WWE welcomed him back into the scenario.
I mean,
and I can understand. You know, everybody has their issues and personal issues, but he dropped the ball a lot. But now he's back. He's ready. He's ready to get down. He's ready to win.
He's not the same Jeff Hardy he used to be.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that going into
prime Jeff Hardy. I feel like, you know, Jeff Hardy is an upgraded and better version, but I like the prime Jeff Hardy back when him and Matt Hardy, you know, were young, where they were called Team Extreme. I like that Jeff Hardy.
Well, anyway. we got a comment here from welcome, Jessica. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. James Sargent says HBK and Hulk Hogan. Those two fought at SummerSlam, and they said HBK oversold the match
I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah, he did.
I heard about it.
He did.
He was flopping a lot.
He was upset.
Yes, he was.
That it happened. That Hulk Hogan was leaving right after SummerSlam.
Yep. So I seen that match. It was just funny to me. It wasn't even an upsetting match for me. It was just funny because of all the things Shawn Michaels was doing, and Hulk Hogan was just going right along with it. So, you know, it was a pretty funny match to watch. Mm-hmm. But I really wouldn't count it as a match.
Well, we got a question. Daniel Crimmins says, is WWE dropping the ball on Jeff Hardy necessarily WWE's fault? No, that's why I said that. Because WWE pretty much, they gave the chance to Jeff Hardy.
He has a good point.
Numerous times. So it was like,
okay, I see your point there.
So that's pretty much why I said, you know, it's kind of back and forth. You know what I mean? So, but Jeff Hardy's still talented.
Absolutely, of course.
So
Jeff Hardy's great talent.
Well, we got Mr. Jack Jaw here. Welcome, sir. We appreciate you coming and watching on the show. He actually has a question for us. What wrestler was in their prime after 40 years of wrestling? After 40 years old?
Ooh. Well, wait. Repeat that again?
What wrestler was in their prime after 40 years old?
I have no idea. Do you know?
Oh, there's many guys. There's Triple H.
See, I don't really worry about age.
There's Shawn Michaels.
I don't
know. Shawn Michaels was good in his prime and was instead of his prime at 40. You know, there was many superstars. That's a good question, Mr. Jackson. Who do you think was in there? Daniel Crimmins says Ric Flair, Undertaker. Yeah, very.
I know. This is about SummerSlam, but I'm still mad at the way they gave Ric Flair his goodbye. the way they ended that match.
Well, that's that. Well, that's how it. That's what wrestling is about.
I mean, I still feel like they should have did.
Sometimes, look at the Undertaker. Undertaker was undefeated streak was ended. Okay, but back to the topic at hand. But for those of you coming in, our topic of tonight: the greatest matches in SummerSlam history.
The history of SummerSlam.
Exactly. You can tell us a history that you remember. What made you watch SummerSlam?
What got you into
SummerSlam? You know what I mean? And please feel free to share our. Please feel free to share our content all over your profile, your groups, whatever. Bring your cousins, your family,
anyone,
everybody. Thank you for that. Ric Flair, yes, Ric Flair was at the top of his game at 40 years old.
The man player in the game.
Exactly.
Woo!
He's definitely the dirtiest player in the game. And when you talk about Ric Flair, he molded Triple H. But before Triple H got molded by Ric Flair, he took on The Rock at SummerSlam in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Jaden, have you seen that match? Yep, see, Daniel Crimmins. Look, he just said it right now. Triple H versus The Rock ladder match at SummerSlam.
I gotta backtrack. I have seen a lot of matches, but most of these matches I've seen when I was little. So,
If not, you can see it in SummerSlam.
I feel like I have seen that match, but I don't want to jump the gun and say
we can watch it.
I'll see. I probably have.
So
but
pretty much
that
match was amazing. It was an amazing match. Both athletes pretty much did what they had to do. It was just amazing. It was an amazing feat that nobody knew those two can go like that. Like, that was the dawning of the new era of The Rock.
Yep. The
Rock started skyrocketing his career after SummerSlam. You know what I mean? So I actually enjoyed the match. James Sargent, we actually have that match on this list too. Heartbreak Kid and Razor Ramon in a ladder match in SummerSlam as well.
Okay, yes. Oh, they had two ladder matches.
They had two ladder matches. They had one at WrestleMania and they had one in SummerSlam. Jack Jaw says Jaden must live on WWE Network watching all the old school footage to know so much.
That's what happens when I hang out with Dad a lot.
Yeah, that's me. We're wrestling fans. We're huge wrestling fans. That's why we do this podcast, to get all these wrestling fans in here, get this topic going. You know what I'm saying? So, Christopher Brown says, Jack, Lewis's living encyclopedia of wrestling. Yes, I am the encyclopedia of pro wrestling.
He's really mean, though.
Oh, yes. He's definitely... When that ego comes out, he's definitely mean. Just Christopher Brown has had a taste of seeing that, so he
trust me, I have too.
Yeah,
I have seen it.
But definitely funny. Yes, we'll see him next time. Back to the topic at hand. So, guys, do you remember the match Batista and John Cena? That was the first time that back then, in 2008, when this match was considered the dream match that everybody wanted to see.
I mean, it was like power versus power, you can say, because Batista had the muscle and, John Cena had the muscle at the time. Only difference was they didn't move the same. Other than that, their power, they had equal power, if that's what you want to call it.
Absolutely. No, they do have equal power. Wasn't the first TLC at SummerSlam? Yes, I believe so. I believe it was between the Hardy Boys, I think the Hardys and the Dudleys. And
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was. Christopher Brown said, that had me laughing last night, Lewis, laughing my ass off. I know, I can imagine. Had a few people laughing. I
have to check that out. I forgot about it.
But yes, that match pretty much kind of signified. Yes, Cena tore his knee. Yep. But it was a pretty good match, I should say, for the most part. Despite the fact two grown giants and freaking big as shit. I'm like, okay. But back then, those were the two top stars.
They were
in both brands. So that's what made it even more exciting. One from Raw, one from SmackDown. and it was an amazing match.
They were both popular, but John Cena was probably just a little bit more popular.
Yeah. Well, Jack Joe he's asking trivia right now. He said, who was the manager of the Blade Runner, Sting, and Ultimate Warrior tag team? Wow, that's a good one. I haven't remembered that in a while.
It's supposed to be the encyclopedia. You know everything.
Excuse me. The alter ego comes out when it wants to. I can't just feed the ego. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I believe it was Paul Ellering. I could be wrong.
You
Paul
believe
Ellering,
or you know?
Excuse me.
You're supposed to know.
Shut up.
You're the encyclopedia.
Anyway, Eddie Gilbert.
Smart.
Eddie Gilbert. Okay, back to the topic at hand. So, Jaden.
Yes.
Do you remember Rob Van Dam?
Of course I do.
Okay. He fought Jeff Hardy in a ladder match on Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry, Monday Night Raw in SummerSlam for the hardcore title.
That's pretty interesting.
Now imagine two high flyers such as this. Jeff Hardy, the death-defying Jeff Hardy, RVD with the frog splash from the moon.
Jesus. Once you get hit with that frog
What did
splash,
you
it's
think
over.
of this match?
That's like two... Oh my goodness, that's crazy. You got two high flyers in a super crazy match. Imagine, that's basically like putting like two powerhouses into like a freaking steel cage match, because you never know what's gonna happen, and you never know if one is gonna power the other or one is gonna high fly the other. But overall, they both put on a show, and that match was absolutely great. I enjoyed the match because I have seen the match, and it was a really great match. So yes, it was enjoyable, and I feel like it goes top 10 in one of my favorite matches of all time.
Daniel Crimmins, you beat me to the punch, man. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio for custody of Dominic. Yes, I saw that match. That match was also
the lead up to that
epic
was great.
Oh, of course the lead up to that was amazing. Of course the lead up to that was amazing. We loved it. I loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it.
God rest Eddie's soul. He was a great wrestler.
No, it was
amazing.
It was amazing. The match was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I loved it.
It was
It
great. It was.
It's a shame that Eddie was not here. It would have been amazing to see that. But that match was superior.
It was.
Again, 2 words: instant classic.
Yep.
Instant classic.
I agree.
Like Rey Mysterio to this day,
he's still a good wrestler.
still a good wrestler.
He's still a good wrestler.
The man can still get down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course he can.
And it was just simply amazing.
Absolutely.
It
was great.
But when you mention Eddie and Ray, I kind of hear that ladder match going on. Let me see. I think I remember this other match of some sort.
I'm pretty sure Eddie Guerrero had a ladder match. I just forgot with who.
Yeah, well, it was that one in SummerSlam, but I think a much higher match was Mankind, Austin, and Triple H. Back then, putting all 3 of those guys in a triple threat match.
That was dangerous.
And then you're adding Jesse the Body Ventura as a special guest referee. By, what happened in this match? That was the first time Mankind became the first ever champion of the WWE. Well, not first ever. First time being a WWE champion.
That's crazy.
So
that's good though. That was a way to get himself up there. That was a way to get himself, on the map, to make people know, Mick Foley is about business and stuff like that. So, I feel like he did absolutely deserve all right to win that match, because after all, this man has put his body on the line for so much, jumped off of a cell, went through a cell like twice, and in the ring at once. So yeah, Mick Foley definitely deserved to win that title, that match.
Okay, Jason says, I don't see them putting him in a mask. He's not a lucha guy. He was trained by Lance Storm, 2 totally different styles. Yes, you're absolutely right.
About Mick Foley still?
Yeah, he's
I can't.
Well, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio
Rey
is
Mysterio?
Rey Mysterio. He's.
I can imagine him with the mask. I like the Rey Mysterio we got now.
Yeah, it's interesting to say, man. They can still do it. So, we're talking about greatest matches, Jaden. This leads us to SummerSlam.
Sunday.
The actual SummerSlam this Sunday. This is going to be a star-studded card.
I need water.
When you're parched?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, now I'm parched.
It doesn't take that long to drink water.
Shut your mouth.
Anyway,
Excuse me, fans. Back to professional.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Just okay. So, guys, SummerSlam.
Yep.
Biggest event of the year in the summer.
Remember,
it doesn't get
second most popular pay-per-view.
Yes, and with what just got added, WWE Thunderdome.
That's interesting.
That's very. Really I'm waiting to finish so I can see SmackDown.
Yep.
You know, I'm not rushing, fans. You know, don't get it twisted. I'm not rushing. I just once I'm done, I can't wait to see it.
SmackDown.
So, Jaden.
Yep.
Let's get right to it. SummerSlam. Our predictions, guys. Give us your predictions. And again, while we're waiting for you to give your predictions, please feel free to share our content all over your Facebook, all over your social media.
Share to everyone.
You know. All right, Dreamer Genie. Okay, so we got Matt Riddle.
Yep.
Excuse me, against Baron Corbin. That match was just added.
Excuse me, Dad. You mean King Corbin? Say it right. Don't pronounce a person's name wrong. Just like me saying Luis.
King Corbin.
There you go. Good job.
I'm sorry. I'm being reprimanded by my partner here.
All right. So who you got, Dad? Because I really don't know.
I gotta say Matt Riddle.
I agree. Yep, I gotta say Matt Riddle. I feel like it's someone else's turn to win a match. King Corbin, I'm sorry, but I really don't like it.
Okay, so James Sargent says Matt Riddle.
I agree.
For Matt Riddle.
Me too.
Jack Joe, we're gonna get to that match later on in the show, in the predictions. So we'll definitely get on to that and talk about that. We also have Sonya Deville against Mandy Rose in a hair versus hair match.
What the heck is that?
Pretty much, whoever loses their hair. We should have that type of match. I don't got hair ready, but you can shave it fully.
No.
So yeah, what do you think about this match?
I like my hair.
Okay, Chris, hold on. Before we get into that, Christopher Brown says Riddle kicks boring Corbin's damn head off after the ass off. He doesn't like that. Goes to show this. Like Corbin.
Don't worry, Chris.
Yeah, I don't like Corbin.
I don't like him.
I don't like him either.
I don't like him.
He's an excellent heel, but I just don't like him.
I don't like his in-ring wrestling.
You know, but Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, who takes this?
I gotta go with Sonya Deville.
Oh, that's bold.
I gotta take Sonya Deville.
Wow. Okay. James Sargent even goes for Mandy. Goes against Mandy.
I gotta go with Sonya Deville.
Jason says, you really think they're gonna shave Rose's head? No.
Of course not.
I'm going for Mandy Rose. They're not gonna shave. Trust me. I think personally, I said this yesterday on Weekends of Wrestling, that if they shave Mandy Rose's hair off, if they shave Sonya Deville's hair off, it would build her character.
I feel like it'll make
it would rebuild her into this new person.
It'll make her scary.
Look at even Christopher Brown says Mandy Rose wins. They're gonna try to make Sonya Deville look like even more of I wouldn't say a lesbian, but I'd say more of a fierce character in the women's division. So next one, Apollo Crews and MVP for the United States title with their colleagues Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin barred from ringside.
I gotta go with MVP.
Okay, why?
I don't know. You know, he's just now not like just recently making a return, but you know he just recently made a return not too long ago. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him win a match. And I feel like if he was to win a championship title, that would put him back on the tubes. You know, that would get him back on the map. And everybody would know who MVP is, or who MVP used to be, and who MVP still is. Because I know he's won the United States title before, so I feel like he shouldn't have won that title because, you know, that title's not really talked about too much. But, you know, it's a good start. Since you're just coming back, it's a good start to win a title like that.
See, no, but that's the thing. I'm actually going for MVP as well. But for the simple fact that I feel he's going to win because Cedric Alexander is going to turn heel and help MVP. And then eventually, to me, bring in Apollo Crews as part of that heel. I want to see that man turn heel. I'm telling you.
Apollo Crews?
I want to see him turn heel.
I want to
see that character.
Heel, but, like, you got to...
I want to see that character.
I want to see that character, too, but you got to be perfect with that because I don't see Apollo Crews as a heel. Like, I see him as a baby.
I didn't see Bobby Lashley as a heel.
I see Bobby Lashley as a heel. I can see him as a heel. He's buff. He wears a headband. And, you know, he's mean looking. So I can see Bobby Lashley as a heel. But Apollo Crews, he looks like too much of a baby face to be a heel.
Well, he can't. Well, I'm sorry. Guy's got good talent, but the man can't cut a promo for the life of him.
That's what I'm saying. And most of the time, when you're a heel, that's what. Well, maybe
that can bring it out of you. You know, they saying it happened with Shinsuke. Not to go off topic, but Shinsuke turned heel, and he turned that light on quick when Renee Young. Speaking of that, Renee Young is actually quitting WWE. To put that out there,
I wouldn't be surprised if she goes to AEW.
Yeah, me too. With Shinsuke, when she asked him, "Oh, what did you think? Why did you do what you do?" First thing he said, "Me no speak English." That was his heel turn right there. That was perfect. The way he did that promo was perfect. So, and yes, Daniel Crimmins, you're right. And yes, Jason, he is. He's bad on the mic. But Apollo needs a manager. Yes, that should be MVP.
So wait. Let me get this straight. Is that the reason? I know I'm going off topic again, but is this the reason why Brock Lesnar has a manager? Because he can't speak on the mic?
Pretty much.
Okay, makes sense. Just wanted to get that out of the air. Anyways, what we were saying?
Okay,
oh, yeah,
so
Apollo.
Christopher Brown says there's just one problem, Jaden, for when Lesnar comes back. If they plan on doing Lashley and Lesnar, who wins the fact in that feud?
I gotta give it to Lashley.
Yep, me too.
They're gonna give it to
Blake Edwin says Bobby Lashley is a wonderful heel. Yes,
I agree.
He is. He is a good heel. They finally pulled the trigger on that, and I'm glad they pulled the trigger on that.
I'm glad they did.
You know what I mean? So next match, the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team titles.
I've seen the little rivalry backstage that they had going on. Not like a few days
Well, they
ago.
poisoned one of the Street Profits, so he,
Yep.
I guess he's out for revenge, but I gotta go with Angel Garza and Andrade.
I gotta go with the Street Profits.
I don't know. They're not really doing anything with them with the title.
I mean,
and you know why? Because I said this yesterday again. I want to see Angel Garza and Andrade against Cesaro and Shinsuke at WrestleMania for both tag team titles or SummerSlam. Oh, Survivor Series, as a matter of fact, not WrestleMania. Survivor Series.
I still gotta give it to. What are their names again? Forgot their names. I had a brain fart.
The Street Profits?
Yes, there we go. I had a brain fart.
You're the Wiz Kid?
I had a brain.
Excuse
me.
Was it that haircut?
Excuse me.
Anyway.
Excuse me. Wait. You made a mistake yourself earlier, so I don't want to hear it. The Wiz Kid knows what he's talking about.
Anyway. Yes, the tag team division is not existent in the WWE, unfortunately.
No.
Blake says he has no pick here. When it comes to the Street Profits, okay, no.
You see,
Daniel says either a title change or miscommunication. Something's gonna happen. Yes. I want to see Andrew Garza win that match. So with Andrade,
we'll see.
Let's see.
We'll see.
If not, I really, really hope that Andrade gets that push that he's supposed to get, man. Christopher Brown says I've got Garza and Andrade winning the match. But I've got to ask, when the hell are they going to dump the dead weight and go out on their own? That's WWE, man. That's WWE. Same thing.
You took the words out of my.
That's WWE for you.
I was thinking that too.
That's WWE.
I was thinking that too.
Next match. This one I'm actually a little anxious to see. The Messiah of Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins against Dominic Mysterio. Who's your take on this?
Oh, speaking of Dominic Mysterio, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but there was a picture of Dominic with red bruises of him getting hit by a kendo stick. You gotta give him credit though. He took that.
Oh, he took him like a champ.
So that's why I'm so anxious to see that. But you know, I gotta go with the Messiah. My favorite wrestler, Seth Rollins. Yes. Not just because he's my favorite wrestler, but you know, I feel like they're not gonna give Dominic any wins yet, especially when it comes to a guy like Seth Rollins. No, because if if Dominic is gonna come to the business, you know, they're gonna start him off fresh. They're gonna be like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. You know, you're gonna lose your first match, so you can get accustomed to what you're gonna be up against. But you know, I feel like it's still going to be a good match either way because Dominic has been fierce, especially with them kendo stick shots. And they just been going back and forth and back and forth. So I'm actually looking forward to watching this match. But, you know, I pick a Seth.
Well, we got Daniel and Blake picking Seth Rollins. Jason says he thinks he might see a Bobby Murphy turn against him. Christopher Brown says Dominic's intention in WWE Brotherhood, Jaden. He said that was Dominic's intention in the WWE Brotherhood. Jason says Murphy needs a push, and him and Rollins will do that for him. Yeah, it sure will. But I still think that Seth Rollins is going to win, and the simple fact that if they let this man lose to Dominic Mysterio, that's going to kill his character completely.
Absolutely.
Like, you might as well just throw in the towel and say the Messiah's gone. Seth Rollins, probably one of the hottest heels on Monday Night Raw right now, and just let it go.
That's what I'm saying. I prefer Seth Rollins as a heel, so imagine making Dominic win. There's no more heel. There's no more Messiah. There's no point of him being the Messiah anymore because, you know, that's the reason why. So yeah.
No, exactly. Well, Christopher Brown says he's taking Dominic. So,
hey, you mean you gotta respect his opinion?
Well, no, everybody got
everybody
got their choice, man. Everybody got their choice. So I completely understand.
Now, so yeah.
With that being said, Jaden, we both in agreement that Seth Rollins is taking it.
Yep.
Okay. Now, this is the first time I've seen this in a women's competition. Asuka is going to be taking on Bayley and Sasha Banks for both women's titles. Where do you see this going?
I feel like there's going to be a little twist to it. I feel like either Bayley is going to turn on Sasha, Sasha's going to turn on Bayley, or they're going to end up cheating and they're going to jump Asuka. And they're going to still find a way to win the match without anyone knowing. Or who knows? Asuka could actually win the match, but I highly doubt that because, you know, they just got champion. Well, not the regular champions, but they got the tag titles not so long ago. So I just got to give it to Bayley and Sasha. Just for now, I would like to see what happens further on as far as this match going, but I got to go with Sasha and Bayley for right now.
No, absolutely. Listen. Sasha and Bayley are the hottest thing going on right now in the women's division.
That's another thing. I feel like if she was to win, Asuka's famous and all, but I feel like that would completely kill Bayley's character.
Of course it will.
That would kill Bayley.
But that's what I'm saying. That Bayley, I like you. How many times I was mentioning it on previous shows? I wanted to see Bayley.
She is a good heel.
She's an excellent heel. Yes. I love the heel character.
She is a great heel.
I hope Jose doesn't hear me saying this, but yes, it's an excellent match. No, not a handicap match, Blake. It's gonna be a match 1-by-1. They're gonna have one match.
It's basically a tag team, the handicap tag team, if you want to say. It's just one match.
Christopher Brown says the twist to the women's title matches is Asuka has a new tag team partner to watch her back, Jaden, aka Laura Shirai.
She does have a new tag partner. That is right.
So let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out and helps.
Well, Daniel says one of the titles is going to change. So let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? So I got my pick for Bayley and Sasha.
Me too.
So next match, Braun Strowman. Well, now that he's all bald, this man's hair, he has no hair.
He looks like crazy.
Against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
I gotta go with The Fiend. I'm sorry. I gotta go with The Fiend. The Fiend is just indestructible. The Fiend, he takes anything.
Victor, welcome, brother. Thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
The Fiend is probably one of the most deadliest wrestlers right now because you can beat him with a hammer. You can smack a chair across his face. Just like the Hell in a Cell match that him and Seth had. Seth slammed the toolbox on his face and hit him with a hammer. Guess what he did? He got right back up and then he stuck his fingers in Seth's mouth. And then he disappeared. I gotta go with The Fiend. That's some scary stuff right there. So I gotta go with The Fiend.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Going back to our last match, Blake says Sasha and Bayley for sure. So they're the face of the company.
As of right now, yeah, they are.
In the company when it comes to the women's division.
That is absolutely right.
And yes, Daniel Crimmins, The Fiend, does need this. Don't kill this man's character off. It's just an amazing character. Probably one of the best ones you have in the WWE.
Absolutely. One of the best demonic characters.
Yes, and I love it.
Now, if you excuse
I
me.
love it.
I need more water.
Lord, this child. Are you done, son?
Yeah, I'm done. What are we talking about?
Okay. So Bray Wyatt and against Braun Strowman.
Oh, yep.
We made our pick.
Yes, we did.
Blake, I'm sorry, sir, but Braun cannot carry the company. I'm sorry. I just can't see it. I can't. I can't see.
I can see Braun Strowman carrying it. No offense to Braun, not Braun Strowman. I can see Bray Wyatt carrying it. No offense to Braun Strowman, because he's a good wrestler.
Can carry the company as well. No, I'm sorry. I just can't see it.
Me neither.
Braun Strowman is excellent superstar. Has many matches, great matches with Roman Reigns, but
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like his career went downhill once the Wyatt family broke up.
Yeah, well, not necessarily because
not literally right great. After because he did do great. I feel like it got dropped.
I think he should have won the WWE title.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's meaningless right now because this wasn't in front of the fans.
But like they could have been gave him the WWE title. Like he actually proved himself back when
exactly. See. This is where the point comes in. Jason said he's a good fill-in champion. Yes, to fill in. You know what I mean? And he got that opportunity. He got that opportunity to become champion. He beat Goldberg, which to me that freaking match should have never happened. Christopher Brown says, my question for you, Lewis, is once Bray wins the title, who do you have up against him until Roman Reigns returns? Hey, anybody can go up against him. He's fought numerous people, you know, and he's beaten them. He's fought Daniel Bryan. He's fought... Who knows? They could probably put him against Randy Orton again.
I would like to see the Demon King, Finn Balor.
Randy Orton, the Legend Killer.
I don't think he doesn't like that character though, so I feel like that would never happen again.
Who?
Randy Orton.
He is the Legend Killer.
He is.
He's brought it back.
He has.
Yes.
Where have I been?
I don't know.
Wait.
In space, maybe.
Let's back this up. Let's back this up for a second. I know this isn't SummerSlam. When?
Oh, Lord.
Randy Orton is my fourth favorite wrestler.
A couple of weeks ago.
The Legend Killer back?
I think it was my fault. I never told you. But yes, the Legend Killer is back.
So what about the theme song? It's just a gimmick or the theme song and the gimmick?
Just a gimmick.
I'm fine with that. I'm glad to see the Legend Killer.
He already punted Ric Flair. He already punted Shawn Michaels.
Ooh, the Legend Killer is back.
It's back. Legend Killer is back.
I would like to see that happen.
And speaking of the Legend Killer... which brings us to our final match. Drew McIntyre against Randy Orton, the Legend Killer. Drew McIntyre, the current and defending WWE champion, against 13-time WWE champion Randy Orton. Jaden,
I gotta
tell us your outcome on this match.
I gotta keep Drew. I know people are gonna probably disagree with me because Randy Orton is new now. Or you know what? Scratch that. I don't have a pick. Because Randy Orton is my fourth favorite wrestler, and he's not the Viper anymore. Randy Orton is the Legend Killer. That was my favorite version of Randy Orton, and I feel like Drew McIntyre is doing an absolutely amazing job of carrying that title over his shoulders. So I gotta stay neutral. I wouldn't mind if any of them win. So
we got a prediction here of Daniel Quimmen says Orton wins and drops it to Edge at WrestleMania. That would be ideal to happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Christopher Brown says Orton wins this because they want to do a reset with Drew once crowds are eventually back. Blake says is Flair in Randy's corner. We're not sure. Randy Orton attacked him. Randy Orton attacked him. We don't know who's gonna do if he's gonna be there with him. You know what I mean?
That's one thing I can say. The Legend Killer doesn't trust anyone.
Exactly.
He doesn't trust.
And Daniel Crimmins says it will give us a feel. It will give us a feel good moment.
I agree. I agree with him in a sense. I agree.
And yes, you're right. They were supposed to write off Ric Flair. You're absolutely right. And they thought because Ric Flair was a distraction. Mm-hmm. But I'm anxious. I'm actually going to go with Drew McIntyre on this.
I gotta say,
I'm sorry. The man, he never had that crowning achievement. There was no fans when he won the title. Now that this interactive thing is going down, now the fans can watch him. He can hear that crowd. He can actually hear real people, not people in the performance center, not the NXT superstars, the Phillies, the Jabbers. No,
he can hear real people from the outside
fans
world,
that would appreciate him winning the WWE title, going in as the WWE champion, and coming out as the WWE champion.
Hey, at least you don't gotta pay for it. You don't gotta get front row seats.
No, you don't. You have the comfort of your own home.
Exactly.
Come
watch.
So that's SummerSlam, guys. I know you guys are gonna tune in. We're gonna tune in for sure.
Of course we are.
So I'm definitely hyped for this.
I'm shocked and surprised. I just can't wait to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no, me too. So wrestling fans, that's our topic for today.
Yes, it is.
Guys, thank you so much for always watching us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for showing your support. Please, first off, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Evolution of Pro Wrestling. If you would like the link, please feel free to message us. We'll give you the link and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And we always encourage you to email us at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com with any topics, concerns, or anything you want to ask. You let us know. So, Jaden, what is our topic next week?
Our topic next week, if I'm not mistaken, it's the submission one with Kurt Angle and Bret Hart. Wow. We were supposed to do this topic.
Yes, but we forgot SummerSlam was this weekend, so we kind of stirred the pot. But for sure,
this time we're actually doing a topic.
Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle in a submission match.
Yes.
Who would win? Can these superstars ever... what type of match these two would have? And would any of them be able to compete with the superstars of today? From myself, the encyclopedia of pro wrestling.
And from myself, the whiz kid of pro wrestling.
Lewis and Jay. Thank you for joining us, fans. We will see you next week. And also, on behalf of my producer and director, my lovely wife, Yesenia, thank you, wrestling fans, for watching. Tune in on Monday for our 6:30 Monday night watch party interactive discussion.
Yes.
From all of us here at Evolution of Pro Wrestling, have a good night, fans. And yes, Mr. Blake said tune in tomorrow also to TNT at 6:05 for AEW. Have a good night, fans.